In today's video, I'm going to be spilling a lot of tea. I'm going to be answering all of the questions that I've avoided. I'm also going to be giving you a little more tea than you asked for. So if you want to get all of the tea on everything that has been happening, continue to watch. For those of you who are new here, my name is Mercy. I'm an RN BSN, and on this channel, I talk about nursing, lifestyle, beauty. I do a little bit of vlogging. I talk about feminine hygiene. I do natural hair, home decor, clean with me. I just do a little bit of everything. So if any of those things sound interesting to you and you would love to join the family, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and also hit the bell notification so you never miss another video. With that said, family, let's get into the video. So I asked a few days ago on Instagram and here on YouTube, I said, ask me anything at all. I'm gonna do a Q&A, and oh my God, the questions came in. So I have all of the questions on my phone here. I'm gonna be going through them and I'm gonna be answering the questions. And there are a few questions that a lot of you really wanna know. So I'm going to be answering them today. The number one question I got asked is, are you and your ex back together? Everybody wants to know this. And I'm going to answer this once and for all, and we're going to move forward. Literally, I have this question so many times. Look, are you and your child's father back together? Here's another one. Are you and Nandy back together? It's back to back. I'm going to answer this question once and for all, and we're going to move on from it, okay? So this is not going to go in any particular order. The first question I want to answer here is, did you get your real estate license or did you just become a real estate investor? Okay. This is a great question because I get this a lot. A lot of people think that I'm a realtor. A realtor is someone who basically represents you throughout the whole home buying process. So they take you to see houses. They sometimes help you get pre-approved, fix your credit, all of that. Some realtors do a lot more than others. So I can hire a realtor to sell my house if I'm trying to put it on the market, or I can hire a realtor to help me buy a house. I am not a realtor. I am a real estate investor, which means I invest in real estate. That can be anything from owning Airbnb, owning rental properties, buying houses, flipping them and selling them, buying houses, flipping them and renting them out, those kind of things. That's what I do. And for me personally right now, I did a full flip here recently. I bought back the home that I grew up in as a child. I flipped it from top to bottom and now it's a rental property. So that is what I do. So no, I didn't have to get a license to do that. I just decided to do it. I decided to learn about it and I got into it. You don't need a license to do that. Sometimes you just need a little bit of capital, which means money, or you need to surround yourself with a lot of good mentors, people who know what they're doing, people who know what you want to do. And I have a few mentors myself. Question number 2. I'm going to lose count, but I'm going to try my best to say number 1, number 2, number 3. What camera and app do you use? So I have a Canon camera. I have 3 Canon cameras actually. And I also use my iPhones sometimes. It just depends on what video I'm doing. If I'm doing a sit down video, maybe I need a little more lighting. I might use a ring light. I might use my Canon camera. Or if I'm doing a vlog and I'm just out and about and I don't have my big bulky cameras with me, I'll use my phone to film my content and I'll post it that way. Moving on here, question number 3. Are you open to dating people from different races? Yes, I'm open to dating people from different races. I've never been against that. I personally think love is love. My prom date, a lot of people don't know this, but my prom date for high school was a white guy. My best friend for a long time was Indian. I believe in love. I don't believe in color. I don't believe in race. I believe in love. I think love is love. So no, I'm not opposed to dating people outside of my race. Next question is, are you still doing nursing? I've answered this question a few times, but hopefully I can answer it here since this is actually a real video. So I am still a registered nurse, licensed registered nurse. I have my bachelor's degree. I almost had my master's degree until I decided to pull back and focus on something else. However, I am not currently working as a nurse. I quit my nursing career or nursing job, I want to say going on 2 years now, right before my life started to get crazy. And that's a good segue to the next question. I posted a video saying that, I was explaining my story, and then I said I lost everything. I was jobless. And a few of you were confused. How was I jobless when I'm a nurse and I can just get a job? Before all of this craziness happened, and I'm going to touch on that a little bit, or a lot bit really. But before all of the craziness happened, I had quit my job. I was in a different state. I was working there, but I moved to a different state. I wasn't licensed in that state, number one. Number two, I had already came to the conclusion that I wanted to work for myself and I didn't want to go back and work for anyone else. And I was doing so well working for myself that the benefits of not working as a nurse at that time outweighed the other side, if that makes sense. So I quit my job, and it's been about, I want to say 2 years, maybe going on 3 years. So when all of that craziness happened, I didn't have a job. I literally didn't have a job, and the only job that I had was my social media career at that time. And when I got hacked, that was taken away, so it was almost like being fired. So I had no source of income. I was paying money out, being scammed and blackmailed, and having to pay mortgage, pay all of the bills and responsibilities, but I wasn't getting any money in. So it was a difficult time for me. So yes, to answer that question, I didn't have a job at that time because I had quit my job, and I was in a situation or a state where I couldn't even just go, the next day and say, hey, I want to work. I wasn't licensed to work in that state. The next question here, I love this question as well. I posted a video a few days ago, and the title of the video says something about from homeless to living in a mansion. And again, a lot of people were confused. How were you homeless when you own multiple properties? So this is a great question, and I'm going to answer that now. Homeless can mean a lot of things. Homeless is not limited to the people who sleep under bridges or the sidewalks or the people who are begging for money on the highways. That is homeless. That is probably the worst case of homelessness that you can think about. But homeless can also mean you lost your home and now you sleep in your car. You're homeless at that point. In my case, I have multiple real estate properties or rental properties, but I was in a situation where I was living in a home that I had moved from one state to another, which means I had all of my belongings, everything that is precious to me, my documents. I had a young child that lived with me. The house had to be sold. Even though I had multiple rental properties, first of all of my properties were in another state, number one. Number two, all of those properties were rented to tenants who signed a lease to live in that property for a certain amount of time. Tenants have rights, just like landlords have rights. I had to leave the house, put my stuff in a storage. My stuff was in the storage for about 6 months. Right? So I was homeless in the sense that when I sold that house, I didn't have anywhere to go. So I went from owning my own home to not having a home anymore. That was what I meant by being homeless. And I cannot just go and kick my tenants out. I could get sued. There are rights. Tenants have rights, right? And I love and respect my tenants. I have a great relationship with my tenants. Not only that, those people live in those houses with their families. All right, so this next question says, do you have another real estate investor or investment lined up? I do not at the moment. Right now, I'm focusing on moving into my house, and I don't want to get into a deal where, my attention is all over the place. I have to renovate that house or try to put it in rent or try to sell it, and I'm trying to do this house and do that. That is the reason I said my content follows my life. So whatever I'm doing at that moment, that's what my content is going to be about. And that is the reason why I don't just stick to one content, because or a niche, whatever you want to call it, because it gets really boring, and that means I have to do my content and go live my regular life when I can just incorporate what's going on into my content. So no, at the moment I don't have anything lined up. I'm pretty satisfied with what I have right now. So this person says, how do you budget, save, plan finances, and execute your goals and dreams so flawlessly? I wish it was flawless, but it's not. I have had a lot of losses, but I've also gained a lot. So I'm learning as I go. It may seem flawless, but that's why, again, I do my best to show you all the real, everything that happens. But I'm just learning as I go. As far as budgeting and planning, I've always been a frugal person. Even if I buy something expensive, I always try to get a discount for it. The only time I don't don't get a discount if it's something that you can't get a discount for, like getting a luxury car or something. If it's a home for $250,000, I'm always like, can I do 240, 235? I try to push my limit. Sometimes they say yes, sometimes they say no. They can only say yes or no. There's no harm in that. For me, it's not flawless, but I think I'll have to do a detailed video for those of you who are interested in that. I'll do a video to really walk you all through how I plan, save, and all of that. I try to live below my means. That's the biggest takeaway from that question. I invest my money more than I use it to try to, do things that to keep up with the Joneses. I live below my means. That's basically what I'm saying. This person said, how is your prayer life? Just like anybody else, I can improve, but God is my everything. I pray to God. I do it my own way. And that's just that. I grew up as a Christian. I'm still a Christian, and God and I have a relationship. Yes, I am still a nurse. Are you willing to start rice water challenge, onion juice challenge, aloe vera challenge, or natural hair journey? We need to go back to those challenges. They did really good when I used to do them. The no heat challenge, the rice water challenge, all of that. We need to go back. Like I said, I haven't been in a stable environment, so it's been kind of difficult to keep up with a series or challenge, because one minute I'm able to do my hair and film it, the next minute I'm talking about real estate property, the next minute I'm doing my aloe vera oil business. I have just been, my life has taken a few turns here and there, so I haven't been in a stable place to just continuously produce a specific content. But once I get settled here, I enjoyed those, so we're gonna do that. Okay, this person says, what does success mean to you? I like this question. Success means different things to different people. For me, success means a lot of different things. In my life right now, success means me being in my own space, raising my daughter in a healthier environment, surrounded by friends, loved ones, and people who actually care about us, not people who want to exploit us. Peace of mind, happiness, and just being surrounded by people who love me. That's what success means to me right now. And I feel successful right now in that sense. This person says, are you done with court cases? I haven't sued anybody, so as far as I know, I'm done with court cases, and I don't really want to give life to that situation. I've talked about it a few times. I've express some things that I wanted to express, and I don't care what else is out there. So I'm personally done with court cases, but sometimes I get sent letters that I've been sued again, and I deal with it accordingly. What security system do you recommend for a townhome? Do you have cameras inside your house? Yes, I have cameras inside, outside, sideways, everywhere. I have cameras everywhere. If somebody comes to my door, my camera says camera recording, and it tells you that you're being recorded. If you come to my front door, my back door, it tells you you're being recorded. And regardless of wherever I am in the world, if I have Wi-Fi, that camera is coming on and it's telling me who's on my property and what they're doing there. Okay, so if it's a delivery, if it's somebody trying to open my door, yeah, I have a great security system. Okay. Oh, this question says, what would you say to your teen self? What I would say to my teen self is, I grew up like a grown kid, y'all. When I came to America very young, I just became grown. I was always the good kid in the house. I was always cooking and cleaning and being respectful, never got in trouble at school, had good grades at school, had a lot of friends, didn't have problems making friends at all. Graduated high school early, went to college, got my nursing degree early. I think I was a nurse by age 22, either 21 or 22. I became a really good kid because I always knew that I wanted to be in a better situation. And then I saw my family, my mom, and I just wanted to work really hard to make my family proud, to make myself proud. So the teen me, it was almost like I had a goal that nothing was going to get in my way of accomplishing. So I would have these dreams or visions, and I would sometimes scare myself and say, yeah, you're not going to get that because nobody in your family has ever done that. How are you going to How are you going to be a millionaire if you don't have a millionaire in your family? How are you going to be a nurse if you don't have nurses in your family? How are you going to be a doctor? How are you going to do this? How are you going to be financially stable or financially independent and not work for somebody else when you don't have that around you? So I would tell myself that, and it would scare me, but I would continue to just keep pushing. And then if I saw like a rich kid in my school or on the internet or this and that, I always tell myself, I want to do that. How do they do that? So I would study things like that. And that's literally what got me where I am today. So I would tell my teen self, just keep working, keep your dreams as big as possible, keep pushing, you're going to make it someday. How has my mindset evolved since all my chaos? All right, so I used to be a people pleaser, which is what got me into a lot of problems. I used to take people's business and put it on my head, like in my Liberian voice. I would put my own feelings and desires and wants and goals on the side, on the back burner, to try to be there for someone else. So even like, let's say I'm going to work and somebody calls me and says, I need this, that, and the third. I would risk getting late for work or even missing work. That's how bad it was, because I want this person, I want to help them out to be good. So I put myself on the back burner a lot. I worked really hard to get everything I have. And because of my people pleasing behaviors, I didn't really enjoy that. I'm now in my grown age, finally starting to get comfortable with saying no. Sometimes it's okay to say no. And I'm finally getting comfortable with that. I still help people. I still am there for, my friends or my family if they need me. But I just went through a dark situation where I just sat back and said, it just changed my mindset a little bit to help or extend, but not overextend yourself. So that situation has taught me to be more of not such a people pleaser, not such an empath, but be a good person without sacrificing myself. This person says, after all you went through, do you still see yourself loving someone? Yes, absolutely yes. Without even thinking about it, yes. My experience was an experience that happened with an individual. That experience was meant to teach me a lesson. I've learned the lesson. Doesn't mean now that I hate the whole male creature. No, I still love men. I have great men in my family. I have great friends who are males. I just know that there is a lot of self-work that I need to do. There is a lot of learning that I still have to do, and I'm going to continue to learn and grow and evolve as I go. But I do not see myself being bitter forever. I do not see myself hating men. I chose to forgive, let go, and just live my life. And ever since I've done that, my life has completely changed, and I'm grateful for that. Hey Mercy, do you plan on dating again, and will you get married? This is a tricky way of asking me the same question over and over. I'm not opposed to that. And getting married is not off the table either. It just has to happen in God's time this time. How do you start a real estate career, and is there a way to call you to link up? I've already answered this question a few times, but I can do a detailed video. If you want to start a real estate career, there is a lot of, subtitles or sub whatever when it comes to real estate. You can be an agent, you can be a realtor, you can be a broker, you can be an investor, you can do all of these things. So depending on what your question is, it just depends on what you want to do as far as it relates to real estate. So the second question I keep getting a lot is, where did you move to? I have decided to keep that situation or information to myself. The people who know. However, I don't want to, volunteer that situation. But again, if you watch my video a lot, you'll hear me slip up and say it here and there. Again, I'm not hiding it. I just don't want to come out and blatantly say it because it's not necessary. But if you watch a lot of my videos and you listen carefully, you'll hear me say where I am. You'll see me in Atlanta a lot. You'll see me in Ohio a lot. And you'll just see that, kind of situation. So that's my best way of answering that question. What would you be more proud to tell your teenage self? I would be more proud to tell my teenage self that I would be the one to break a lot of generational curses or to set a lot of new standards when it comes to my family. You're going to be the one, Mercy. You're going to be the one. So just sit back, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great. So this question is asking, she says she's in her 40s. Her kids are grown. Will it be difficult for her to start a nursing career at her age? 40 is pretty young to me. In your 40s is pretty young. When I did my LPN program, I was the youngest in the class. At the time, I think I was 20. but I have multiple people in my class who were in their 50s even. So nursing is difficult regardless of what age you are. Nursing is a difficult career to get into, but I've seen countless and countless people do it. I've seen 100-year-old grandmas go back to school to get their GED because that was their lifelong goal. So 40 is a good age, especially because your kids are grown. That's great because you don't have young kids hanging on you when you're trying to study or go, meet up with your classmates and go to class and things of that nature. So I think you're in a good space. It is going to be difficult. It is going to be a little scary, but it's nothing that you cannot do. All right. My question is your outfit. My outfits, I shop everywhere. I need to start remembering to tag the places that I get my outfits from. I just forget. I post it and I forget because I'm not a lifetime or let's say like a fashion content creator. I'm more of like a home decor and stuff like that content creator, so I always forget to tag my outfit. So y'all keep reminding me to tag where I get stuff from. How far do you live now? And how is Nadia? Nadia is great. Again, I live in a better environment and I'm so happy. So happy. Do I wish to get married someday? Yes. Not in a rush right now though. Do you plan to go back to nursing school? Maybe in the future. Maybe when I'm in my 40s. I might go back and finish up my NP, but if I need to do that, if I want to do that, I need to do it as soon as possible because I was about a year and a half into the NP program and I only had a year left. It was a 2.5-year program and I decided not to continue. After a while, all of those classes are going to expire, which basically means that all of the money is going to go to waste. So if I'm going to go back and get my NP, I need to make that decision as soon as possible, but I don't feel like it right now. Are you in a relationship with someone? That's a great question. A lot of different ways to ask the same question. Do you need to have a real estate license to become an investor? No, you do not. How do you start a real estate? Okay, I've already answered that. How many properties do you have? I have a few properties. Again, if you watch me closely, if you watch my videos closely, you will know how many properties I have. Okay, just watch my videos. You'll know how many properties I have right now. I am a private person regardless of what has happened here over the last few years. I am a private person. I only try to post contents that are helpful to you guys. My private life is not helpful to you all. What I do in my personal life, who I'm with, how I'm with them, that is not, to me, it's not helpful to you guys. But what I'm doing with nursing, real estate, business, all of those things to me are the things that I like to share. So I like to keep that stuff a little private, but if you watch my videos, sometimes I do slip up and say things. That way you get the information that you need. Do you still work as a nurse? Right now, no, I do not. What other goals do you want to accomplish at the end of the year? Okay, so I have this thing where I don't tell my goals before I do them, and you should try that too. Never ever tell people what you're working on or what you want to work on. Only tell people when it's already done. Let's say when I was in the process of searching for a home, I did share that and say, hey, I'm searching for a home. But when I did get a home, when I went through my appraisal, when I went through this and that, I didn't tell anybody until I got my home. Then I said, hey, I bought a house. If I'm working on something, let's say I'm trying to start a new business or I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that, I don't tell anybody until it's done. Then I'll share it, and I'll share it over and over and over. And you guys know that if you've watched me, I always talk about the things that I've done and how I did it, but I never come on here and say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, blah, blah, blah. Never ever do that. You never know who's listening, and you never know what plans they have for you. I only talk about it when it's done. What keeps you motivated and keeps you pushing forward? My daughter is number one. My daughter keeps me motivated. Whenever I see my daughter, I tell myself, regardless of what I'm going through, I can't give up because I don't want to teach her to be a giver-upper, a loser, a quitter, whatever you want to say. But I also want her to grow up knowing that she can do whatever she wants to do. She can do exactly what she wants to do, how she wants to do it, and have that confidence to say, yeah, my mom did it, so I can do it too. So that is my motivation. My other motivation is my family. They are really proud of me, and I want to continue to make them proud as I live my true, authentic life, make myself happy, but also continue to make my family proud. Do you want more children? Oh my God, I got this question a lot too. At first, I used to say one and done. I wasn't even planning. But then when I had her, I went through such a horrible time with my pregnancy that I was like, oh my God, it's gonna be one and done. But now that she's growing up, I see her, she's kind of like me in a way. I see myself in her because I grew up with older siblings who were too, I guess, much older than me. They were not much older than me, but they were too grown to want to play with me, and they were minding their own business, and I always had to fight for friends. I always had to fight to look for kids to play with. And now I see her starting to, I mean, it's different now because we're here in America. She has daycare. She has different functions that she can go and play with other kids, but she has no complaints being the only child. But I see that she might need a sibling, so I'm not opposed to it, but I'm not actively working towards it right now, okay? I just want to get settled. I want to, get my bag. I want to focus on myself, focus on raising her, and whatever God's plans are for my life will come to pass. That's what I can say about that. But no, I'm not opposed to having more kids. Do you renew your RN license? Yes, I do, and it's up for renewal this year. It's every 2 years, and this year, 2023, it's up for renewal. One thing I have learned from you is never give up. Keep reaching for your goals and dream and keep winning. Thank you so much for that, first of all. I will say that it is definitely not an easy thing to do, especially when you live your life in the public eye. When you go through a traumatic experience and you go through it publicly, it's really hard. It's easier to just disappear, quit, and never pick up the camera again. But I'm a fighter. I am a strong person. I consider myself an alpha female. I'm a strong person, and I have goals that I've had since I was a little girl, and I'm not gonna let just one thing come and take complete control of my life and ruin me. I have goals that I still have to accomplish. I have things that I still want to teach myself, teach my daughter. I have a lot more to gain than the things that I've lost, so that keeps me going. I have days where I'm like, dang, how can I let this happen? Dang, I have days, I'm human. I have days like that, but I have more days of gratitude. I have more days of, wow, look at where you were and look at where you are now. Even from childhood, at my age, my young age, I am financially stable, and I have accomplished so much in my life that I'm so grateful that trying to dwell on the past and trying to dwell on my losses is almost being ungrateful to the blessings that I do have in my life. So, and the fact that I know that my life is inspiring so many of you, that makes me happy as well, because reading those messages, it keeps me going. I read a message and somebody's like, just like she said, somebody will say, I was going through this and going through that, but watching your whole life play out, watching your experience and where you are right now, it made me keep going. It made me want to keep going. It motivated me. It made me go back to nursing school. It made me, fight for my kids as a single mom or a single dad. It made me do this, that, and the third. And that just keeps me going. It makes me feel like, wow, my life, just living my life is inspiring other people. So I have to keep going. Okay, so the last question I'm going to answer for you all, and maybe I'll do a part 2, maybe I'll do another one and you guys can post more questions. The last question I want to answer is, are you and your child's father back together? So a lot of you know that I was with my daughter's dad for about 14 years. We had our daughter, we split up. Things got crazy, but we both decided that, whatever devil that came between us, whatever obstacle, whatever thing that happened, him and I have similar stories where we didn't necessarily grow up in a mother-father situation, without going into all the details, but we have similar situation. And now having a daughter that looks up to us, a daughter that depends on us, we came to the conclusion that we not only have to respect each other, we have to love each other, we have to regard each other, we have to protect each other, and we have to do all of this because of our child. So regardless of the situation we're in now, whether we're back together, we're not back together, whether we live in the same house, we don't live in the same house, whether we're dating other people or not, whatever the situation is, again, everything that happens in life is a lesson. We went through that stage and we learned a lot from it. And because we basically grew up together, and because we have such a precious gift from God, we have decided to be the best parents we can be to our daughter, whether we're together or not. If there was a picture for the definition of daddy's girl, it would be Nadia. Nadia loves her dad to pieces. She is so she and her dad are like this Sometimes she even picks her dad over me, and I'm just gonna be honest to say it. And he is an amazing father to our daughter. She has an amazing relationship with her dad, and her dad has probably one of the best fathers or father figures that I've seen in a long time. So regardless of what our situation is, whether we're together or not, again, if you watch closely, you'll see things slip up here and there, you'll see stuff, but I don't want my content to be about my personal life. If I choose to talk about it, if I choose to show him as a partner, or if I choose to show a new partner, whatever I choose to do, that's gonna be on my terms, when I wanna do it, when I feel comfortable doing it. I have learned a great lesson, okay? A great lesson. So I want to keep a certain part of my life to myself. And if you find out, you find out. If you see it, you see it. But I'm not going to be the one reporting on things like that. But I will say, regardless of what our situation is, we have a very important person in our life who means everything to us, and because of our background, we have chosen to show our daughter different. So she is the number one thing to us, and we have to do that to set an example for our daughter, regardless of what decision we will make in the future or what decision we have made now. So that is the answer to that question. Thank you all again so much for the Q&A questions. I appreciate you all. If you want me to do another Q&A, I personally chose not to talk about, my past and the controversy. I feel like I've talked about that enough, and I have no time and no energy for it anymore. We move, right? We continue to move. I'm too blessed to be stressed at the moment, so I just want to keep moving on with my life. There were a lot of questions. Maybe 50% of the questions were surrounding that situation, but I have moved past it. It's going on a whole year now since everything has happened, and literally, are we in June? Yeah, it's literally a year. And so I'm past it. As you can see, I am doing so well by the grace of God. And it, to me, again, will be almost disrespectful and ungrateful to God if I keep dwelling on the past. So that is out of my system. I don't care what's being said, what's being posted, whose story I'm a bad guy in. I do not care. Making myself happy and getting this bag, okay? But if you do want to learn about real estate, nursing, hair, home decor, anything, you got me. Ask me those questions and I will answer them. I'll do another Q&A and we can answer that. And yeah, I have a whole lot of contents for you all. The house content is probably going to be about 50 to 75% of my contents. I'm going to sprinkle a lot of the other ones in there, but I am having a lot of fun right now, decorating my house, ordering things, getting things, doing these brand deals, and just bringing turning my house into a home, my dream home. I'm having so much fun doing that, and I want to share that with you all. And that's what the content, that's what a lot of our contents. We're going to go back, now that I'm getting settled, we're going to go back to the hair, the feminine hygiene, all of those things. We're going to go back to those because we're in a stable place. I'm not moving every second anymore, and we're just in a better place now. So thank you all so much for watching. Stick around for a lot more videos to come. I love you all so much, and I'll see you all in my next one. Bye.